What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Taurean Rain Reloaded channel. If you are new, please be sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, click so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video and go live. Also, be sure to like, comment, share this content on your various social media platforms. So today we will be talking about Vanessa Jones. And for those of you who don't know why I call him Vanessa, it's because this man finds a reason to cry at every damn little thing possible. I mean, this man will cry if a bee loses its stinger after it's stinging someone he doesn't even know, if he got wind of it. That's how much of a crybaby he is. And as we all know, the last time we really heard about Van Jones was when Jeff Bezos had flew up in his penis-shaped rocket and then came back down and just out of nowhere gave Van Jones a $100 million dono that I'm sure he's going to write off as a charitable deduction. I believe he gave it to another man as well. He only gave it to two people, so he basically gave out $200 million in one day. It was, and to me, it was just a flex, but it is what it is. Most black people really didn't care because a lot of black people don't like Van Jones anyway. Well, he has added on another reason why black people, specifically black Americans, won't like him either, because Van Jones just recently came out and made this very odd and blaspheming statement when it came to reparations. He basically claimed that reparations was going to alienate voters. That makes absolutely no sense, and I'm sure it made no sense to him when he said it, but because it had the topic of reparations, then it is what it is. This man fixed his oval-shaped head and his square-shaped mouth to utter those words as if that was some kind of grandiose thing to say, and it really wasn't. Remember, this guy got $100 million from Jeff Bezos, one of the wealthiest men in the world, and this is what he came back with. I guess he felt like, oh, I got mine, I don't have, F y'all. That's basically what I gathered from him. But I'm going to go ahead now and read this article that was posted on moguldom.com on June 27, 2022. Democrats should not make reparations a priority, according to lawyer, author, and CNN political commentator Van Jones. Well, you don't have to tell us that. We already know they're not making it a priority because every time we say something, they go off the rails and go into another direction. Now, I'm willing to bet that Van Jones isn't going to say that all these other groups should not get reparations or make claim for them to get money from the Democrats. I bet he's not going to say that. Now, here's the thing. Van Jones, as far as I know, is FBA his damn self. But so that's the thing that gets me. If you are FBA, why are you against it? You are first in line. That's the craziest shit to me. Like, y'all would rather be fine with biscuits and crumbs and being on the damn plantation than getting a massive amount of wealth that could literally not only change the trajectory of you in this current generation, but also generations down the line. That is some off the wall backwards shit. We get it if it comes from non-FBA and these, these immigrant tethers. We get it when it comes from them. But when it comes from those who are, that is so weird to me. During a recent segment, Jones claimed that talk of reparations takes the focus off issues that concern poor Americans. He said Democrats might fail during the midterm elections due to politicians using such terms as reparations and Latinx, terms that alienate voters. Well, good. Maybe they need to be alienated because they're not meeting our demands. And I'm almost certain and hopefully they do fail. See, if they got their shit together and actually listened to our demands and cut the damn check, they might actually win or have a strong chance of winning and possibly by a landslide. But oh no, they don't want to listen. Then they want to come and try to throw this back in our face. Well, if you don't support the Democrats, that means you must be a Republican or support the conservatives. That's not what we're saying because we know they're not trying to cut the check either. We don't support anybody or any cause unless they are meeting our demands. And right now, neither side is doing so. They're both failing. So at this point, we really don't care. But when it comes to the Democrats, the reason why we are more hard on them is because black people for a very long time, for the last few decades, have consistently voted for this party and have not gotten shit in return. Even after they gave us so-called promises of doing this, that, and the third, and still haven't done a goddamn thing. Not since, what, the 60s? You know how, it's not long ago, but do you know how long ago that was? It's not that long ago, but do you know how long ago that was when you think about it in its hindsight? And we're tired. A year ago, Jones accepted a whopping $100 million from billionaire Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos. The gift came with no strings attached, but is earmarked for charitable causes, the Daily Beast reported. Jones revealed a few specifics about his plans for the massive charity Windfall. He co-founded Dream Corps in 2015, which supports reducing the U.S. prison population, and the racial justice organization Color of Change in 2005. He is also the founding CEO of Reform Alliance, a nonprofit focused on prison reform that was launched in early 2019 with Meek Mill, Jay-Z, and leaders in sports and business. For people very low down on the economic ladder who need a bunch of stuff, you wind up over-promising, "We're going to give you reparations," Jones said, to people at the bottom of the economic ladder that's talking weird to appeal to progressives. YouTube channel Rebel HQ posted a CNN snippet on June 25th under the headline, "Van Jones Think Americans Are Demanding Too Much." This wasn't the first time the former advisor to President Barack Obama played down the importance of reparations. In an October 2019 interview with the Indianapolis Recorder, Jones said monetary reparations would carry less weight than policies to boost black wealth. Policies, y'all. This is no different than them trying to say, oh, the education thing, the prison reform thing, the land thing, and all that stuff. The thing is, I was listening to somebody and they made a good point. They're trying to push stuff on us that will still be under control of the so-called dominant society. The point of the matter is reparations, tangibles, money, M-O-N-E-Y. Dollar signs. That's what comes first. Everything else will come second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th, whatever. But the checks, and I said that checks with an S as in plural, more than one. That's what comes first. All this extra stuff, that comes later. And see, they keep doing that and think, and what they're going to do is, and if they haven't done it already, they're going to say, oh, we're being ungrateful. We're not being ungrateful. We just want what the hell we want. You know, the conversation about reparations is very interesting, Jones said. My observation is if you say I want $1 billion to help black people, the first question people ask is why. If you say I want it for the past because of past wrongdoing, people who are non-black tend to have very little enthusiasm. Oh, the fuck well. See, that statement right there tells you that Van Jones is on that all lives matter, we are the world, let's kumbaya and hold hands like we at the end of the movie Us, and just skip off down the yellow brick road like Dorothy and her friends to go see the goddamn Wizard of Oz. Let me read that again. My observation is if you say I want $1 billion to help black people, the first question people ask is why. If you say I want it for the past because of past wrongdoing, people who are non-black tend to have very little enthusiasm. But it's crazy because when they give money out to these other groups, those questions never come up. They just do it. But when it's us, you got to ask why. Oh, and the favorite one, there's got to be a study. Always a study. He added, if you say, never mind, I just wanted to address some of the inequities in the present, I'm not talking about reparations, I'm talking about redistribution of wealth and income, there also seems to be a really big drop-off of enthusiasm for those answers. If you say, I want $1 billion to invest in a better future, there tends to be little more interest. He went on to stress that the Obama administration had plans that were more effective than monetary reparations would ever be. I bet you it wasn't. I bet you it was the same song and dance that the Biden administration or whoever was trying to do right now, or all these other small sectored groups. I've just been more successful talking about investment in green and clean solutions moving forward, said Jones, comparing policies to reparations. Jones praised the Obama stimulus package. We had about $787 billion in the Obama stimulus package, $80 billion of that went to investment in green and clean solutions. Much of that wound up in low-income communities. That is not specifically black people. Low income could mean any community that's non-wealthy white. That could be going to the damn trailer park for all we know. And we know who mainly lives there. See, that low income, that minority, that people of color bullshit that they like to peddle out there like that, don't fall for it. Joan does admit that reparations were owed to black Americans, but, and you know what I'd say about that, but, that monetary reparations are not the solutions. Reparations is monetary. It is. Every other group has gotten it. Hell, they even began to roll out the red carpet for the Academy to give them reparations, and they haven't really gone through anything. At least not to the extent that FBA has. And y'all know I did a video about that. Do I personally believe that reparations are owed to a people that have spent 300 years in slavery? Yeah, I do. Do I think that this is the best or only rationale for a major investment in poor communities and black communities? Probably not. Notice it said poor communities and black communities, so he separated the two. So that means that poor communities, that could be any non-black community. So it's almost like when the topic, the statement of reparations came up, is like, are you trying to say that there could have been reparations gone to another community that was non-black, but they were considered poor or low income? The racial wealth gap continues to grow in the U.S. The median white household is about $100,000 to $200,000 net worth, while black households have about $10,000 to $20,000 net worth. Harvard University's Harvard Gazette reported. And it's crazy because you bring that up and then people act like that is not an issue. That racial wealth gap has been like that for years. It's not like something that just sprung up recently. It always comes up. It's a system. Systemic racism. That's part of it. And it's crazy. All these policies and everything that they keep saying that they need to do when it comes to reparations, stuff like that, that can happen, but we need the money to do it first. See, the thing is, they love to say how black people are bad with money and we're terrible with money. But the point of the matter is, I think they're scared. As a matter of fact, I'm almost certain that they are. That if we get the monetary needs that we demand, that we will either meet them or surpass them. Because they think every black person is bad with money. Not every black person is bad with money. Just like every white person isn't good with money. Or every Arab is not good with money. Or every Asian isn't good with money. Or every Latino, Hispanic, Mexican, however you want to put it, is good with money. That whole thing that black people are bad with money is yet another stereotype. But you know what's so funny? Excuse me. If black people were so bad with money, let's say hypothetically that we decided to say, I don't know, not spend our money because we're such bad consumers with these businesses. Watch how this economy would collapse. I bet you they'll cut the check then. And the crazy part about it is, if they actually cut the check, or say checks, this economy would probably get back to a level of where it once was 20, 30, 40, 50 plus years ago. They would rather see this establishment crumble and fall than to elevate us out of the financial status that we as FBA are currently in and have been in for quite some time as a collective. I remember reading somewhere where they said that America was like trillions of dollars in debt, and if they would have cut the check for reparations for FBA, this economy would get stable again. But they're not going to do that, because see, to do that, they would also have to admit a wrong. And they're not going to do that. But that's fine, because little by little, their society is crumbling around them, and they have no one to blame but themselves. Bezos' surprise donation to Jones is a part of the Amazon CEO's philanthropic initiative, the Courage and Civility Award, founded to honor Courageous people working to change the world with passion and civility. And I bet you he cried a whole damn river of tears when he got it, because that's what he likes to do. And I just realized this fool got Superman cufflinks on. This man is not no damn Superman. This guy is pathetic and has been for a very, very, very long time. This Vanessa, sit your ass down somewhere. But it doesn't surprise me that he has these thoughts. Look at who he is married to. That right there should tell you all you need to know when it comes to Van Jones. And then some. This guy is weak. He's pathetic. He's a waste of space, a waste of time, a waste of sperm, and more overly, a waste of melanin. Gonna sit up there and try to say that we don't deserve it after he got $100 million from his zaddy Warbucks. He like, oh, I got mine. Y'all on your own. And it's way too many Negroes like him out there. I can't stand them kind of Negroes. I can't. Oh, I got mine. You got to go and get yours. You didn't get it on your own. That $100 million, let me tell you something. Van Jones would have never seen $100 million if Jeff Bezos didn't decide to pat him on the head and call him a good old boy and just decide to just throw $100 million his way. Jeff Bezos, that was just money he had to toss away. If Jeff Bezos was in a crisis, he wouldn't even look his goddamn way. Like I said, Van Jones would have never seen $100 million in his life if Jeff Bezos did not just say, pluck you out of the peanut gallery and say, oh, I'm going to give this little Negro $100 million. He looked like he needed. But now that he has it, he feels he's better. He's well, to me, Van Jones always gave me uppity Negro vibes anyway. But now he feels like he's the upper crust. He has reached upper echelon status. Fuck you, little Negroes that's on the lower floor. I have arrived. That's most likely what's going through his head and has been going through his head. As if his head could get any bigger than what it is. Head so goddamn big, you could attach that to the house and movie Up, and they wouldn't need all them goddamn balloons to float that damn house into the orbit. But yeah, Van Jones is sad. This is a sad, in the words of Buzz Lightyear, he's a very sad and strange little man. And that's my take on it.